Hey, everybody, this is Stacey. Thank you for joining me here. I want to go over, just give you a few of the tips that I found working on a foundation plan for concrete scope of work and the things you should be wary of and the things that you should, know and look for. And if you work with me, I'll definitely give you the tools and lead you in the right direction to get stuff like this completed in an efficient way. I have a three-step process, and they're all the same. And the first is make sure you do a very detailed takeoff based on only what you see on the plans. And so for foundation, what we, typically are going to see and think about, especially one from the ground up, is that we're going to have maybe column pads, which we do, and those are all the dots that you see there, the number of them throughout the project that will encase the columns that will be shown on the structural framing plan. Okay, and then all of the different colored lines you see are all of the structural footings, the continuous footings that we have to create for all of the structural supports for the structural walls. And so we know that if all of the other walls are going to be created, they're going to be non structural walls, meaning partitions that are going to be created that are not load bearing. Okay, and so we know that along the continuous footer, all the load bearing walls will be created there. And then the column pads are always, square. In some cases, we have a few that are rectangular. And so, what you always need to do is just make sure you do an accurate measurement based on what they should give you are detailed views, which looks like section views that show you the configuration of the continuous footer that you have to build. Okay, and so first step is always going to be um, make your linear measurements based on the different section views that they give you. And this one's very simple. There's 4 or 5 different configurations. And so, you just have to know where one starts. And it's pretty clear where one starts and the other one ends. And in this case, we have a couple of mistakes on the set of plans where this is leading us to a framing call out, but this is a foundation plan. So I knew that was a mistake. So this is at the patio. So I'm assuming the continuous footer is going to be the same all the way around. I'm thinking they meant to put an S8 instead of that 7. And so you're going to see a lot of mistakes. And that's why, over time, you just want to keep doing as many takeoffs and estimator. You want to do as many estimates as you can and start to keep a log of the winning numbers and the losing numbers and make your comparisons. And over time, you'll just hone in on your skills. That's just the way that it goes. That's how it goes. If you're lucky enough to be taught by me, you learn pretty early. Okay, I teach you what you need to know right now, and most people, if it's kind of challenging for me because most people in this industry don't have a lot of experience listening to women, and so we have a difficult time sometimes. But the proof is in the pudding. If you have not been in business at least 15 years, as I have, I think you need to listen. All right, so here we go. What you want to do, you always want to break up your continuous footer based on your section views that they give you because that's how you're going to have to do your material quantities and your pricing. Okay, so we'll just go to a few. So what we've already done on the previous page, and if you are part of our concrete member spaces, $9.99 a month, you get all of these what I call take off tutorials, where it's all different kind of situations, all different kind of buildings, all different kind of mistakes, where you are walked through all of the takeoffs from top to bottom. I give you tips and things that you should know, and when you're taught by me, you learn pretty quick. And I'm not, and the thing I love about them, a lot of you guys told me that a lot of guys out there that know what I know are too arrogant and too afraid to share their knowledge, which I'm not surprised. I had to learn all of this by myself. So I'm not arrogant, nor am I afraid to teach you. So if you want to be taught, my website, please visit. You'll like what you see there. And I'm not a football fan, although I love all the sports and my sons are, and I'll watch it, but I am an NBA fan. So I give, when you sign up with me, you'll get access to NBA League Pass games. And if you give me the list of your favorite teams, I'll make sure we play that. And that's just between us. All right. So anytime you're looking at a concrete continuous footer, you always want to look for three things. You need the width of the footer, you need the depth of the footer, and the length of the footer you get from the plan, the one we already measured. So you already know the length of four that we've already measured. It's 55 feet. So you know your third dimension here is 55, which, and remember, you have to change, if you do my math. Now, this math works for continuous footers and if you have to excavate. This math works if you're an excavator and you are underground utilities and you need to know how much dirt you have to excavate. Okay, you need to know basically that your depth is where that pipe is underground. It may be seven, usually 4 to 7 to 12 to 15 feet, depending on the pipe. If it's storm drain, it could be really down low. Okay, so your thing is, what's my depth of my pipe on my underground utility? But for foundation footings, 2 feet. It really depends on the building, right? How many floors and all of that. But your cubic yard number of dirt math math equation works the same way. Okay, so you need three dimensions for foundation footing and for your there's videos on for you excavator, because really excavator has to dig this out to put this foundation in too. Okay, and so you always want to go a foot on either side of your whatever your width is. So if my width is 2 feet, you want to go for a whole width of 4 feet, one on each side for safety's sake, for digging sake, and all of that. Okay, so keep that in mind. You don't want to go just the width of what you have to put in. You want to go 6 inches to a foot bigger on either side. All right, and depth really depends on if you have a bedding, right? So, which you do, you will, and thrust blocks and all that stuff. So, we just went into a little underground utilities, but again, you have to dig the earth for your foundation footing, or somebody does. The concrete person most likely will not, but it's the same concept. And so for your footers, you again, from the plan view, we measure how many linear feet we have. And then we go here and say, well, that's dimension number one is how many linear feet. Dimension number two is the width. Like I said before, what's 18 inches? That's a foot and a half, right? So 2.5 times the length of the footer is feet cubed. Divide by 9 is cubic yards. So you know right off how many cubic yards of concrete you need for your continuous footers. Okay, the same thing works for the slab on grade. You know that's typically 6 inch, 4 inch, 6 inch. Change it to feet. You already know your area because you've already measured the area of the concrete, and that's your three dimensions. Divide by 9, and make sure everything has to be in feet. So when you do your three is cubic. You got cubic feet. Divide by 9, cubic yards. Okay, real easy to remember. Now, as far as your reinforcement, really depends on what they tell you at the section view. Okay, so here, and what I normally do is start at the bottom, work my way up for my material quantities. And so we have number four rebars, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically that's just 4 times the length of that section. That's how that works. That's easy. All right, and this is your slab on grade, okay? It has a totally different reinforcement, which is it's a lot of extra work for that one, but you do what you got to do. All right, and what else? I think that's it. I mean, that's what you do. And so we have to look at each one individually because they may differ in width or height or whatever. And so that's why we mark each one of them separately. And for our foundation footing, well, we do the same thing here and got to figure out what the deal is. But if you want to see the detail, make sure you sign up at our website, sfjohnsonconsulting.com. And again, make sure to subscribe and like because that helps people like you that found this content useful to find it as well. You didn't know that? I didn't know that until the other day. So when people like and subscribe, that helps people that are looking for similar content to find this content as well. So hopefully you learned something. Please let me know if you liked it. Subscribe, join, all of that good stuff. The holidays are coming and my birthday's coming and I will be 66 years old, and I'm very happy about that. So, thanks a lot, everybody, and I will see you a little later today.